Hello, welcome to 11 Plus for Success. Again, today we're going to talk about angles in a triangle part 2. Angles in a triangle part 2. And this type of questions is where you have, it can be in form of a right angle triangle, or it can just be a normal triangle, but you have a form of algebra or algebraic equation as part of the question. So let me give you an example. Like for instance, you might have a right angle triangle, of course, with that in there, and you've been given this to be, let's say 80 degrees. Let's say 80 degrees, okay? And you've been given this part of the angle to be x plus 33. Okay? Don't panic. There's a way out. It's the same thing we have been doing in the previous program, in our very previous video. Okay? All you need to do is determine what they are and understand that all triangles equal to 180 degrees. So let's go. 80 plus x plus 33 plus 90 equals 180 degrees. Of course, as with BIDMAS, in this case, they are all addition. Add everything together, 33 plus 90. Now let's pick the tens first. 90 plus 80 is 170. 170 plus 33 is 3. 7 add 3 is 10. 1 add the remainder 1 is 2. 203. As you can see, that it's going to give us a negative number, but don't panic if you were expecting it to be less than 180 degrees and it wasn't. Don't panic. There is always a way out. That only gives us that this is going to be a negative number. So we got all that, so we can then say x plus 203 equals 180 degrees. Of course, when you take that out, when you take this out, remember it's a plus. When you bring it out here, it's going to be a negative, like we have already noticed. So we're going to say minus 203. Okay, so we cross that out. Don't forget what I said in one of my videos. Please make sure that you take away as normal, but don't forget your negative answer. So 3 take away 0 is 3. Borrow 1 from here. 10 take away 2, 8 rather, is 2. 1 take away 1 is 0. So your answer is 23. However, don't forget your negative number. Don't forget that the question itself was 180 minus 203. So your answer will then be negative 23. Now, let's try and see whether this is going to be correct. Negative 23 add 33 is going to be what? 10. Okay, now let me show you that so you can see. Negative 23 add 33 equals 10. How did I know that? Think it monetary terms. I have 33 pounds, but I'm owing 23 pounds. So if I give this 23 pounds away, out of this 33 pounds that I have, I'm left with 10 pounds. So most of the time, if you think mathematics, especially the negative numbers in monetary form, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so let's go back. So we know it's minus 10. Minus 10, that's did we say minus 10? Sorry, we know that minus 23 rather plus 33 equals what? 10. So let me just write it here so you can notice. Minus 23 plus 33, okay, which is 10. So that tells us that this place is, the angle of here, this very small place, is 10. So 80 plus 90, 170. 170 plus 10 equals 180 degrees. Okay, as long as you can see that both of them, the three of them rather, add up to 180 degrees, that's when you can say you're correct. If not, you're wrong. Okay, and another thing is this: they asked you to work out the value of x. Please don't go and be writing 10 as an answer. They didn't ask you for the value of this corner here, the value of x. So in this case, x equals minus 23. Okay, I want you to try and work out your own, present your questions, try and work out your own, see how easy it is to understand. And also don't forget that it's not all the time that they'll give you right angle triangle. As long as even if they give you 80 plus 5x plus x plus 33, is still the same thing. I think, okay, before I go, let me try and work out one of them. A question that looks like that, so you can see that it's actually pretty easy. Let me hope to find one. Okay, let's go to next one. So let's say we have an angle whereby a triangle rather, whereby you have been given let's say you have been given 4x here, you have been given 55 here, and let's say you have been given x plus 25 here. Same way we worked it out, let's write it down. Don't forget the 3 must be equal to 180 degrees. So we can then say 55 plus x plus 25 plus 4x equals 180 degrees. So let's go. X. Now, don't forget that this x has got an invisible one beside it. Any letter standing on its own in algebra has got an invisible one by the side, because 1 times x is x. Okay, so let's go. We can now group them together. We group 55 and 25 together, or we can just quickly solve them. So 55 add 25, 50 add 20 is 70, 5 add 5 is 10, 70 add 10 is what? 80. So 55 add 25 is 80. So I put my 80 here. And then 1x plus 4x, 1 add 4 is 5, x remains the same, plus 5x equals 180 degrees. Don't forget, we are looking for the value of x that will multiply this and that will add this to make the 3 of them 180 degrees. So let's go. 80. Actually, let's just send it away now. Let's go back. So we know that this needs to come out, because it's jumping equation sign, it's got to turn to negative there. So we're going to have 180 minus 80 yes, equals, now watch this one, because no, actually this is not moving, is it? It's only this part that is moving. Okay, so don't confuse yourself. Even if I'm writing it this way, it's still the same. But for some people, so you don't get confused, I'm going to actually keep it the way it is. So I'm going to say 5x equals 180 degrees, because that comes there, minus 80 degrees. So then I'm left with 5x plus 180 minus, did I say plus? No. Equals 180 minus 80 is 100. Now, in one of my videos, I've actually treated any question that looks like this. So let's take it to the next page. 5x equals 100. 5x equals 100. Now, I said any number beside the letter has got an invisible multiplication sign. So 5x is 5 times x. How do we get rid of this 5? We need to find the inverse. The inverse is to divide, because it's married to x through multiplication. We need to remove it by dividing. Okay? And whatever we do to this side must be done to that side. So let's divide by 5, divide by 5. Okay? And then we are left with x. Of course, 20 times 5 is 100. So x is 20 degrees. Now let's go back to the question and see if it makes sense. 4 times 20 here is 80 degrees. 20 add 25 is 45 degrees. Now let's go and add the 3 of them together. 55, 80, 40. We know that 55 plus 45 is what? 100. 108 add 80 is what? 180 degrees. Hooray! That's how to work out angles in a triangle where you have algebraic form of equation there, or where you have x or y or whichever letter is presented to you as part of the triangle. Thank you for listening. Go ahead, create your own questions. Let's see how it goes. Put your answers in the comment box. God bless. God bless you. Hello, welcome to 11 Plus for Success. My name is Toluwalope Downsi, and today we are going to be working on angles in a triangle. Okay, so there are times when you will have a question where you have been told to find the angles in to measure the angles in a triangle and give your answer. Number one rule you have to know is that angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So angles in a triangle, they add up to 180 degrees. It's extremely important to remember that. And once you know that, solving the question is very easy. Hopefully, yeah. Okay, so since we know that, let's now go into some of the questions. I'm gonna try and see if we can draw this clearly. Okay, so let's go. Let's say you are given this angle and you're asked to find out the sides, the angles inside. Okay, so for instance, that's 25 degrees, that's 130 degrees, and you are told this is x. What's the value of x? All you need to write down is this: 130 add 25 add x equals 180 degrees, because you should know that the all angles, the three angles of a triangle, must add up to 180 degrees. So don't ever forget this part. Okay, you can do it in a very simple way for yourself first. You can just say 130 add 25, okay, which is 155. Then you say 180 minus 155, which is, borrow 1 here, remaining 7, 10, 10, take away 5 is 5, 7, take away 5 is 2, the answer is 25. Okay, the answer is 25. Or you could tell yourself, having the same question again, we remember 130 degrees add 25 degrees add x equals 180 degrees. So we're still going to have the same thing: 155 plus x equals 180 degrees. It's important to learn this because when you come across some other questions, you may require this process. That's why I want to teach it in this case. So next thing is we need to know the value of x. When you see a question like this in algebra, you just need to find the value of x. So how do we find the value of x? What we need to do, remember what I said in some of my videos, a number standing on its own in mathematics or in addition, or shall I just say in mathematics really, it's got an invisible addition sign. Okay, it's got an invisible addition sign. Through our mental sum, we're already aware that this cannot be a negative, so we can't bring this in. Now, even if you bring it in, it's going to give you a minus 25, but when you take this x out as well, it's going to turn to minus x, so the minus can cross each other out, so which is still okay. But it's better to do things, in a quicker way, especially in the test. Okay, so we're taking this plus 155, we're sending it back outside. So let's go. Plus 155 goes outside of is crossing the equal sign, so it's got to turn to negative. Anytime a number or a figure or a digit crosses over, especially if it's a plus, it crosses over the equal sign, it's got to be negative. And if it's a negative, if it crosses over, it's got to be positive. Okay, so we can then, of course, when you cross, this is out, so don't forget it there. Don't forget to remove it. Okay, because it's here. Otherwise, you might be having a double answer. So 180 minus 55, as we have worked it out previously, is 25. And you can also count it by making sure you understand by saying 55, 65, 75, 80. Okay, that's 25 degrees. That's the answer. Okay, now let's try and see. Coming up with another question. Let's try and deal with right angle triangle. So let's say you have a right angle triangle. I'm going to try my best to draw straight. Right angle triangle. Yeah, there we go. And of course, whenever you see this in a test or in an exam, whenever you see this, it's a right angle triangle and it's simply 90 degrees. Okay, which makes your life easy, 90 degrees. And you might be given here 25 degrees. Now let's change it from 25 so we can get used to some other numbers. Okay, so let's say we have given like 50 degrees, and that's 90 degrees. Okay, now that looks more obtuse than acute, so I'm gonna change the figure. I want it to look so real to us. Okay, so let's say 38 degrees. Okay, you know this already, 90 degrees. So all you need to do is you can just label this X, or sometimes you're given, or sometimes it's a question mark that is in there. So you can just term it as X in your head. And all you need to do is 38 add 90 add X equals, let me manage my space now. 1 second. Let's remove it from here. Let's put it under. Okay, so 38 add 90 degrees. Don't forget your sign. Add X equals 180 degrees. Just like the last time. Now let's work this out. What is 38 plus 90? We know that 90 add 30 is 120, right? Add 8 on top is 128. But I'm using column method so you can see 8. That's it. 128 degrees. So now let's come to this side and say 180 minus 128 degrees. Again, borrow 1 from here. This remains 7. Give here, making 10. Okay, we're having 2 and we have to be careful. Okay, so that's 7, 10. 10 take away 8 is 2. 7 take away 2 is 5. And X, the value of X is 52 degrees. Okay, so that's how to work out any right angle triangle questions. Now, one thing you have to notice is this: there are times when they won't even say anything to you in terms of putting this sign here. Okay, this very square sign here. All they'll just say to you that one of the angles is a right angle triangle. They'll put all the other information, like let's say they want to make this, let me get another page. Let's say they want to make this place 50 degrees. Okay, and then they might not say anything here. They'll put Y, and they won't say anything concerning this one, but they will just say one of the angles is a right angle triangle. And that's why it's extremely important to always read your instructions. Always read your instructions so that you'll be able to grab some things, because in the exam they put some information there in form of words. You have to figure it out yourself and impute and change it to figures and impute it there. Okay, so for instance, in this case, you have you've been told it's a right angle triangle. All you need to do is figure it out and put 90 degrees here, and then you can say 50 degrees plus 90 degrees plus Y equals 180 degrees. And therefore 50 plus 90, because 5 add 9 is 14, and you put your 0, yeah, you put your 0 here, which is that one, plus Y equals 180 degrees. Now we know 180 minus 140, I can work it out here so you can see 140 degrees equals 40 degrees. So your answer, Y equals 40 degrees. So that's how to work out simple angles in a triangle questions. I hope you can try, present your own questions, work it out, and let's hear your own answer. Thank you for listening.